Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome or welcome back. I'm Heather, or if you're one of my students, Ms. Postlewaite, and this is Pages with Postlewaite. Today, I am going to finish up my Indonesia Read the World. So I finally finished the last novel that I was reading and I have already returned it. Oops. So it's right here. That was The Bird Woman's Palette. It is by Laxmi Pamuntujak. Probably missaid that. I am very sorry. And then the translator was Tiffany Zhao. I'm going to talk about the book and then just kind of sum up Indonesia in general and just kind of my adventure. In talking about the book, it was interesting. It wasn't my favorite that I read. Probably ending at 3 stars, and really the redeeming factor there was probably the food. The food was so vividly described and tantalizing. Unfortunately, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about Indonesian food. And so in all of that gorgeous detail and flavor-filled descriptions, I still had no idea what we were talking about. And then they were all foreign words for me personally. I did start to figure out what some things were, and I did use my cookbook to kind of look things up, but I was still a little bit lost. So if you know a lot about Indonesian food, if that is something that you have a lot of familiarity with, it was kind of fun in that sense. So the story follows Aruna. She kind of works for the government and traces contacts with avian flu and is basically looking for connections throughout the archipelago to figure out if we're having outbreaks. She's assigned with her coworker, Farish, and then because they're going to be going all over to I don't know, 7 different cases throughout Indonesia, some of the places that she's going are well known for their food, and that's her deep dive passion is food. So she's a foodie or a foodist. She has 2 friends who are very similar in just loving food. Okay, so the 4 of them go on this adventure. There's not nearly enough of the avian flu piece. I really would have liked that in the story. I would have liked that plot, but the truth is, and that was kind of the thing that got her a little bit in trouble, is there really weren't that many cases and there wasn't really justification for some of the things that the government was doing. Her and Farish go to several of the hospitals. I really enjoyed the different takes on visiting these different places. So the different islands that make up Indonesia, and then all the different foods and culture and religion and tourist sites that were a part of that. So I really felt like we visited or kind of got an overview of Indonesia. So for that reason, it was probably a really good choice for me in trying to get to know Indonesia a little bit better. The book itself was a little bit of a hot mess in some ways. I don't mind character-driven plot. That's fine, and we were trying, but the characters were a little bit interesting. So it was an okay book. I really did enjoy the food journey that we went on. That was a lot of fun. It's a slow burn. The romance is awkward. The people are strange. Aruna doesn't really like people. Nothing wrong with that. But it was just awkward. And even as she's warming up to Farish and trying to deal with her best friends and just some of the weirdness, the way she treats them, it was just different. So not my favorite book. I think the other 2 were more of a success for me, which is good because I bought the other 2. This one was a library book, so I'm okay with that. That being said, Indonesia, I had a lot of fun. I still haven't eaten any food, which is really ironic considering the book I just finished, but still never got any food. I will seek that out, and yeah, that's still a high priority. I loved learning about the country. One of the things that the book did do is it kind of helped me to deep dive in some things. So there was food. And so I was looking up some of the food, some of the places that they would visit. They talked about some of the mosques. There was a couple of specific beaches, things that were really famous that I was able to kind of go and see pictures of and look that up. And then one of the things that was mentioned is a place that they went that was actually devastated by the 2004 tsunami. And the book is kind of written 10 years after. I deep dived the tsunami, kind of researching that, which was eye-opening. And I remember that happening, was obviously a world away, so the impact that it had on me personally wasn't as significant. I did not know how devastating that tsunami was, that it hit like 6 or 7 countries, different countries, and that it really devastated several places in Indonesia and Taiwan and Sri Lanka. So I learned a lot there. That was really eye-opening. I also kind of picked up on a concept. So I'm going to Americanize my understanding because that's where I'm coming from. And I don't mean any insults in any way, shape, or form in the way I'm going to approach this. With Indonesia being an archipelago and all these different islands that kind of have their own cultures and things that they're known for and religions, I was able to kind of understand that by comparing it to America. And I could be totally wrong, but the United States with our different states, well, some states are very well known for certain things, like Texas. I mean, that's probably comes first to mind. California, New York, these states that are very much their own independent thing, and they're well known for certain things, and nobody else is like that. When they would talk about this one particular island, and they would talk about the people that were there, the culture that was there, or the religion that was there, or the food that they were known for, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of like New York and Chicago with their pizza arguments. I don't know, the South and Southern food, and I don't know, Wisconsin and cheese. I don't know. It was a way for me to bring understanding from something I am familiar with to something that I'm not. So I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I kind of got to do that. I am excited to explore another place. I'm glad that I didn't rush this. I know I hadn't envisioned doing this in a 4-part series, but here we are. And I don't know if going forward I plan to do that. If anybody has watched me do this and wants to voice an opinion, I'm open. I would really like to hear if this worked or didn't work. I kind of like the shorter segments. I think they're easier to digest. So anyway, I am finishing Indonesia and ready to start a new one with the new year. So I'm hoping to do about 4 different countries maybe this year. So fingers crossed. This was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I got to explore somewhere that I'm probably never going to get to visit. So it was just really awesome. So signing off, this was fun, and I'll see you on the other side.